And here we are ready for a new test at sea with Mercury Italia Master Gomoni, an event organized by Mercury Marine Italia here in Palermo, together with the Master Gomoni in Aqua 775 Fishing and Porto, version 996 Fishing and Porto, and then the little one at home, Master 699. In reality, there is also the 6 and 30. There is also the 5 and 40, so small up to a certain point. This is perhaps the last of the entry levels of Casa Master. There are 5 and 40, the 6 and 30, the 699. Obviously then based on the availability and needs of each of you, and all three lend themselves as a first purchase. I also have to say that 699 for some is the definitive measure. Why? Because it's a perfect fit. There are 7M of dinghy where nothing is missing, even for those who love to go fishing. This is the 699 fishing. We are currently out of the Palermo Marina. We are here with a sea that is forming. The weather conditions have changed. A disturbance is coming, so there is this wave a bit. Annoying, especially for when you navigate with means that are not the 996, but when you go our 6M, 7M dinghy or boat. Clearly the wave motion is right across us now, right? And you can feel it. It's starting to be a half-meter wave here that's forming, so a living wave powered by the wind. We said aft. We have 200 horses from the Mercury House, the V6. Let's also see what the performance is, how it behaves in the water with these conditions that perhaps here. For 1996 it would be nothing, but for 1699 it is certainly nice to see how you navigate, not only when we go to do in speed, but as in the various gates we manage to have comfort on board a dinghy that we see has everything you need for a day of fishing. We have our tie top that is set up with this awning, which is a particular fabric that lets the air, not the light, not the sun, to breathe. The light is, yes, the solar ray is not there. We have it in our head, and above all, if it makes 2 drops of water, we are fishing, we are still sheltered. The whole load-bearing structure also serves as a secure grip at all times. If we have to move on board, whether we have to go stern, bow with the fish in the barrel, we always have something to hold on to. We find it at any height, because it was thought to keep this, but also just to make users universal good. Do you see who is behind us? If there are 4 of us, maybe 2 are here in charge, and behind us we can have other people who hold on to these, who are really rigid. Give that sense of security. Cockpit free from any obstacle, so everything is free precisely for the fishing trip, with walls which you can lean very well there, because we are talking about 60 centimeters of rod holder height. And what you see there is the seat. There is the seat which is now disappearing, and therefore disappeared. It becomes a wall, but with a simple movement. We have the session for our friends who come with us, or maybe while waiting for the strike. We were just saying a means that we have 7 metal planks for bathing, and that in any case they are also comfortable for working. Eventually there was a problem. We took a rope. We have to pull up the engine and look at the propeller. We put ourselves on the platform, and it is convenient to work on the engine. So not only in the summer season to do our baths, but also convenient to be able to work on the engine, let's just say. Then we saw the sky conditions. He's changed. He's not as blue as he was this morning. We are ready for this test. We have installed the cameras. I have some everywhere. We have the instruments. We have our 3 and 60, which will give us the images from 3/4. So we will see exactly how the whole dinghy behaves. Then we have a GoPro that shows us what it is right now. The command post is also one behind me up there, guys. Trim all down. Let's start sailing it and see the glide. Now we start with this sea that we have on the starboard transverse almost to the garden. Now I'm going to put it in gear, and let's get it out of the water right now. Do you see how immediate it is? Look at that. He lay down immediately, didn't he? Planata. I have to say, really few seconds. There are 200. Very cheerful horses. You feel the installed power, because on a dinghy, you won't say, this engine with 200 horsepower is now starting to show signs of a nice breakdown at a speed of 22 mph. When do you want to win to? Here they are. Consumption, I hit it back there. But I'm telling you, we're down to 15 liters now. And this already could. To be a cruise? No, because many here at 20. 20 mph? See how well he is performing now. The sea is no longer the same as it used to be. This morning, that was nice, Colin. No, and no shots fired. Currently, he has somewhat recovered, and we are moving at 24 to 25 mph, which is approximately 22 knots. No, I didn't make any trimming adjustments, but this pace is suitable for navigating this sea. I don't think the trim is needed here. Even at this accelerated pace, we won't be utilizing it later, so I'd suggest considering it for now. As a minimum cruise. To be able to move, go. On our fishing spot, look here, he also holds the course. I don't have to. Don't even stand up. Going crazy with the rudder? So where do we get through them? Is there a possibility that they could disturb? Perhaps adjust the bow slightly, considering how it's positioned in the water. This already forms quite a good figure. At this juncture, we should add more power for a smoother rollout, targeting about 30 minimum yards. Here, I noticed that trimming the bow a bit would help lighten it. Clearly, the design has to be predicated on the absence of the sea, and I would concur with this approach. It is. This is the precise Primata, right here. Now we're achieving a consistent speed of 32 or 33 mph. Observe the smooth sailing. It's a beautiful sight. I need to keep the camera focused on the fuel consumption while trying to maintain a clear view. It's 25 liters now at 33 miles, which is about 28 knots. Always under the liter mile, guys, and we're at 33 mph, which is 28 knots, right? Look at that spectacular stuff. Really a very pleasant gait. I'll give you the helm, and here he is holding the course. The rudder in this case also becomes for us, maybe to hold us because you feel that there is a bit of movement. Onda so access for easy. We have it, of course. We were just saying, is this the right cruise for him? Why 33 mph? I would say it's a perfect cruise for $16.99 that you watch as it sails. Oh my God, what a sight. Before going to do what will also be the maximum speed, you see that there are sometimes waves a little more formed. Let's see how it behaves when we want to pilot it, and then feel the rudder, how the dinghy reacts. Down the trim, down all the trim. Handle, which is very sensitive, guys. And then let's see how it holds the turn. You are 6.99 M7M. Look here, spectacular with sea size. And look at me at 25 mph. I can do this turn, which is a lot of stuff. And now let's counter. Let's see if we have capitation effects, but I don't think so, because with Master, this doesn't happen. Look at all the stuff on the other side. And we can very well do these. We have control of the medium. What we care to know is that he is in our hands. If I decide to fight back, he will fight back. Immediate reaction. See how it is reactive, really drivable, very drivable, even for those who love sportiness. And at this point, let's see if we can also find the right angle to launch it, because we will start jumping. I always say it is. True half a meter. Or here we are also a little more, maybe 70, 80 centimeters may seem few, but if you have a 10 millimeters when you sail with 6 meters or 7 meters on the dinghy, you get 70 centimeters and it becomes a trampoline, eh? So let's start seeing how he behaves. Let's play a little. Did you see the jump? I must say that although we make some nice jumps, look, the landing is always soft. We never have violent blows. There is no sudden blows. We jump from one wave to another. We land really pleasant driving this dinghy that is carried as we want. Let's turn to Allegri, huh? We're at 37, 38 miles an hour Viratina. Decisive, but we check well in the middle and feel it. He is in our hands. He allows us to do so. Show guys, Mamma Mia, it is truly a pleasure when you sail with dinghies that, despite the sea size, look how I can cope at 40 miles an hour. Oh my goodness, it's a show. I can jump from wave to wave. Did you see how it all turned out? "43 miles an hour, and there is a nice tide in Mare Cristiano. Among other things, in this area, there is the sea formed by the wind, but also that of some ships. And it is beautiful, the feeling of safety that 1699 transmits to you. I can understand the 9926, but what does the 699 allow us? That's a lot of stuff, guys. That's a lot of stuff. Look how I'm going to look now. A little bit of a stretch down there to see if we can even spread it out completely, because now we can't catch all the speed, because it really jumps, eh? See what it's like. Here it is, guys, the sea stuff. Here it is. Definitely more format, we're going 14 FA. It's really one pleasure because you feel it, it's in your hands, and when it lands on the waves, it's always so composed. It never leans on a side scene. Even now, it never skids. It makes me feel safe. And above all, it's soft and soft the landing. This means not creating stress for those who are with us, and above all, for the structure, which is perhaps all we put on board. Fishing rods. Look how happy we are, 40 men in this sea here. Mamma mia. Now this area should be approaching Palermo. Below the coast, we should find a little sea more, let's say, sheltered from the wind. Therefore, with a little more, a less bad wave to be able to try to spread it out. I try sometimes. Hey guys, 55, my goodness, 50, my goodness, they were 50, I saw them, and I would say that we can also be satisfied given the weather conditions. You understand? We run when we want to run. We run a lot. And it also becomes very light on the water. The 500 horsepower Mercury engines are powerful, but they are controlled and governed well. Now at 35,000 hours, I'm making a decisive turn to go back. And look how it allows me to do it. It's a pleasure. Nice, nice, nice. I would say really good work at Massa. Do you know this fairing is the one with which Pietro Gargiulo won a world championship? 25, 30 years ago? No, and this is that, it's still that hole there. Because when a hull succeeds well, it doesn't. You change it more and it's one. Carrena, who won races because he had a very high average in. Top speed, it kept a very high average speed. Not the top speed, which is what you have seen in certain conditions. You see it a lot, isn't it? Well, the 45 gate averaged and then came into the buoy, attacked the buoy, came out and did this work here. I get out of the buoy and I do this work here, and he makes a decisive turn for me to do. Let's say we're in a race, and then I knock him out and walk away. Here he is lying down and allowing me to pick up speed immediately. This means being a hull that you really do, you make them do what you want. There's a lot of stuff in Carrena. I knew that master hulls always give me satisfaction, but this, from 6.9, even more, you want why there is a story linked to Pietro Gargiulo, and you want why. Small measures, it's challenging to make them work correctly, so it's a significant achievement. I would say at this point I am very satisfied. Before returning, I stopped to draw conclusions, which I would say have already drawn conclusions. What do you mean? You have seen the images. The sea out there is definitely formed. Here we are a little bit sheltered from the mountains of Palermo. But have you seen how they managed to take here 50 mph with a dinghy of 6.6 and 99 7-meter dinghy, 200 horses of Mercury? I would say that there is nothing more to add. I have to tell you that in fishing now, Master has become an absolute protagonist, because all the various means from the small 540 up to the 996, which is the latest arrival, that is a fishing version, but still also comfortable for pleasure, well, has won the heart of many, many fishermen, but not so much, because then put some structure, some rod holders, we can all succeed. The fisherman looks a lot at what you have seen now because he is out all day. He comes out in the morning, he has to come back in the evening, maybe the wind has changed. These conditions are quite common, especially when the autumn-spring season begins, and those are the times where they maybe fish the most, so they do not want to give up the exit, and they can do it, let alone for those who go for pleasure 6.99 fishing. In 200 horses of Casa Mercury, have you seen the results, the consumption? I don't have them in Minetta. However, data up to 35 miles, you have always seen, we are always on the -liter mile as hourly consumption, therefore, indeed, as consumption per mile, because if we do 50 miles, we consume less than 50 liters of petrol. So think, 50 miles is a lot. Usually they do 10, 15 in a day. If they do 20, no. Less than 20 liters of gasoline, you have done the day at sea. This is the Casa Master 699 powered 200 horsepower Mercury. Greetings to all. To the next test. Hello, everyone.